gets slowed up. Sundub cleanses it all. Nearly gets taken down. Fields just blows him up. Cobb taken.
Make the ground shake.
He's gonna take it down to half health. Underwear gets ulted by Lulu, but so is on the back line.
Hello, I'm Scott Scoot Belmont, and I'm going to be here bringing you the Turkish semifinal match. And if you're wondering why I'm skipping the other quarterfinal match, it's because this past weekend I actually casted all 5 games of that set, and it was one of the most entertaining just best of 5s that I've ever seen, ever. So I highly recommend you go back and watch that. The problem was the audio codec I was using was broken, so none of my audio actually recorded. It wasn't even the game sounds or anything. You couldn't hear my voice, you couldn't hear the sounds, and there was absolutely no way to recover it. So I said, gotta skip it. There's no way I'm going back. It wouldn't be fair to the people watching if I just said, oh yeah, it's alright. I could pretend to not know how everything ends, and that simply would not be fair to you as the viewer. It wouldn't be fair to, for this portfolio I'm building. It just wouldn't be fair at all, so I'm skipping it over. I mean, if you're already watching this, you probably know who won by now, but if you don't, seriously, go back and watch all 5 games. I mean, that in itself is a little bit of a spoiler, but first of all, knowing that a set goes to 5 games, like if you saw the EULCS this past weekend, those were fantastic. No spoilers. Both of them were 5 games long. Fantastic times, great day, great weekend. Turkish quarterfinal match, fantastic. Go back and watch it. It was great. I promise. Otherwise, I mean, let me just get into casting this game right now. This is going to be BJK versus Atlas, and Atlas, as we saw last week, they completely swept their opponents in the quarterfinal match. And let's just, oops, that is the wrong thing. There it is. Let's just get into this game. I'm going to skip ahead of the picks and bans a little bit, but as we'll see, Sivir, Zareth, Sejuani obviously getting banned out from Atlas. We saw Sivir and Zareth last week do a huge number. I mean, Lufsen and Siansen, yeah, I think I have those names right. Cleonsen. I had a lot of trouble pronouncing it last week too, but yeah, they were really big factors of that huge 3-0. While on the other side, bans out for BJK are Rumble, Hecarim, and Callista, obviously focusing down the top lane. They're afraid of that Thaldrin, but he picks up the Maokai anyway. To counter that, Jerome and Dolce, they lock in the Zac and the Lucian, so they're looking for a lot of mid-game teamfight power. Lucian is pretty alright during the late game too, so they will be fine in the later stages of the game. But against the Maokai, I mean, even like a 3-item Maokai, he's really hard to melt. Lucian is one of those champions that can do a lot of damage to a tank. It's all about, dodging the CC, using his dash effectively, getting the passive so he can dash more. It's just comes down to the skill. Now, BJK, hovering the Vayne for a long time, but it looks like they're going to lock in Lulu, so they're going to have the Lulu Rek'Sai or the Lulu Maokai combo. We know that's not going to be a top lane Lulu. Could be a support, could be a mid. Either one of those is a good option at this point, because right now you have a super tanky front line that can get even tankier with an AoE knockup. So that Lulu coming into this comp, fantastic pick, highly agree with it. And I'm going to move on to the next picks for Atlas. They're hovering Riven, but I don't know if they're actually going to play that. Thresh, definitely the smarter option. The ADC, well, the bot lane in general for BJK hasn't actually been revealed yet. That Lulu might not even be a support Lulu, so picking both of the bot laners here for Atlas is going to allow BJK to counterpick. The Thresh, though, is a very strong pick, great for all kinds of team fights after he hits 6, and it looks like It's going to also be the Vladimir. Now, Vladimir also has a lot of power. They're going for that mid-range, like 5v5 team fight comp. They do not want to skirmish. They do not want to get poked down. They want to 5v5 engage right here. And their last counter pick is probably going to be against that Urgot. Urgot being hovered right here, not sure if that's actually going to be the ADC. Or maybe if Caitlyn could go mid. That's happened once before. And a quote from Froggen right here. If I played a Nivea mid and I had to go up against a Caitlyn, I would uninstall the game. Little fun fact right there. But now they're just cycling through other picks. It looks like it's going to be the mid Lulu. Draven and Corki might be the lock-ins here. Could be the Vayne. And it looks like they're going to finalize with the Corki. Now that gives this team a lot of magic damage. The only real, only AD is the Rek'Sai, but I mean Corki's the ADC. He deals a lot of mixed, not too much of either. So building MR for this Atlas side is going to be relatively easy. I mean, both Zach and Vlad live off the Spirit Visage. I mean, just both of their kits benefit so heavily from MR that this comp that BJK has created is going to be pretty hard to pull off. Now, they do have the 2 Ignites to stop that regen, and whatever Terrapist counterpicks against that Lulu or Morgana, it could be a Morgana mid. You never know. It's unlikely, but it's possible. It's been done before. I mean, Morgana top has been played. Morgana mid, also very likely. I know that's been played somewhere else in the world. I don't exactly remember where, but I saw the Reddit thread, and it was played mid somewhere. Looks like this last pick is going to be the Cassiopeia, so that adds a great deal of skirmish potential. That's the word I was looking for. In the sense that a lot of damage over time, a lot of poke, and a lot of sustained damage. And what I mean by that is, if you don't know Cassiopeia's kit, her E, the Twin Fangs, resets on an enemy that she hits if they are poisoned. So that's a lot of damage coming out, just in burst. But she can do that over and over and over again as long as she continues to land her miasma and her other ability whose names escape me. But the point is, that's going to add a lot of dimension to this Atlas side, as well as giving them an even stronger 5v5, because now they have the hard engage. Before that, they had, alright, Zac Slingshot, but that is a small AoE, doesn't hit too many people. Thresh, landing a hook, that's a pick. It's not so much a team fight starter. So, coming into this game, getting the Cassiopeia, that's going to so strengthen this Atlas side. Going to skip ahead so we can actually get into the game. And it looks like there might be a first-minute pause because they are talking for a long time. Jeez. I understand there's a lot of analysis to be put into this game, and this is where I would talk back and forth with my co-caster if I had one. No, I am not taking applications right now. But anyway, coming into this game, we are looking at two hard 5v5 team comps. You have the Maokai, Rek'Sai, and Morgana that can get picks and can set up really, fantastic combos. You get the Rek'Sai knock-up into the Maokai lockdown into the Morgana binding, or the Morgana binding into the Rek'Sai knock-up into the Lulu knock-up. All of this jazz coming out. They also have a decent amount of poke. Granted, saplings don't poke very well. The Lulu Glitter Lance is a slow skill shot, not very fat either. And I think this is the first time I've seen the Christmas Maokai in a professional setting. It's a nice skin. It's probably my favorite Maokai skin too. Hell, all of his skins are really good. Charred Maokai, it's a nice palette swap. Haunted Maokai is really cool in my opinion. He kind of looks like Yorick. Christmas Maokai, it's Christmas. And it looks like all of Atlas are going to get spotted out by that ward, and they are going to immediately retreat. No deep wards coming out of Atlas. I'm not even sure if they know BJK is still in their topside jungle. No, there are no wards up there, so it looks like BJK getting the vision they wanted. They know that Zach is going to be starting that blue side. And, well, I apologize for the siren. I live in Philadelphia. That happens. And Jerome going to get caught in that 2v1 lane. Now, Vlad is pretty decent in a 2v1. He can farm underneath his tower very effectively. And it looks like it's going to be pushing against Jerome, so you're going to try to probably fast push this, or, you know, just slow push it. They have the, like, 1 minion advantage on the BJK side, so it's going to eventually push towards Jerome. I forget how they pronounce it, but last week I got really good at it, and now I forgot. But you see what I'm saying, like, Vlad can farm under the turret. He's very proficient at it. He's not going to struggle. He's going to sustain. He's going to be fine for the most part unless he gets hit by a binding. In this mid lane, however, this is going to be more or less poke back and forth. There isn't really all-in engage potential in that mid lane. It's going to be pretty hard for either side to get a kill. I mean, solo kills as Lulu is already a struggle. And same thing with Cass, unless you're level 6. So both of these mid laners just going to look to farm it out. And Cassiopeia is the champion to farm with. Now it looks like a gank is being set up here in this top lane. But Therapist just going to walk in. Looks like Dolce not going to do anything with that. And just going to get the 2v2 lane. Vlad is ranged, so he won't struggle at all in that 2v2 right now. Down here in this bot lane, though, we're going to see the Maokai-Lucian matchup, and that is a struggle for Maokai, but he has a sustain. Lucian doesn't rely heavily on his abilities to farm, but, you know, proccing that passive is very helpful. So Maokai going to be able to proc his own passive pretty often. BJK going to try to set up a gank here in the mid lane. Livsin blissfully unaware of what is going on around him. He moves up just far enough. He's going to go and trying to solo down energy. He's going to flash away from the knockup. Almost gets energy, but that's going to be the first blood going over to the Rek'Sai. Energy not going to die. Barely surviving that fight. And the Therapist doing what he can to help Jerome farm. A very, very good gank to start off the game in that mid lane. And now Cassiopeia coming back with just a tier to, well, energy hasn't backed yet, but Theokolis, yeah, that's a cool name, Theokolis. He's gonna go back pretty happy. He has 400 gold in his pocket, and he's gonna actually try to set up another gank here. He does have the Maokai, so setting something up won't be hard, but the minions are not there. They're gonna try for this anyway. He's getting... Oh, he uses the summoner heal, and here comes the teleport. Jerome not gonna be there fast enough, but here comes Dolce. Dolce gets the slow, the flash over the wall from Thaldrin, but there goes the Lucian. Lucian following over the wall, gonna waste his dash, gonna get a little stuck there, but he forces the Rek'Sai away also, and this is gonna set up for an easy first dragon. There is a chance for a steal, however. Theokolis does have his smite, and I'm pretty sure he has a tunnel too. Energy coming in, while everyone is pretty low, they are only level 3, so forcing them off of this dragon is going to be a mission and a half. Right now, Dolce getting caught out, not going to get knocked up though. Rek'Sai a little too frightened of that all-in potential from the entire other team. And Dragon going to be left alone for now. Very smart move to get off of the dragon, but it was not the smartest to start it in the first place. I understand they thought, you know, oh, we have the numbers advantage. Let's go for this. Rek'Sai is away. Maokai is away. I mean, yeah, that is the perfect setup, but it just didn't work because Rek'Sai obviously had pots going, and, well, you can't really do anything when you're level 3 and taking, like, 200 damage, a quarter of your health, basically, from one shot from Dragon. With that, though, BJK jumps out to a 1,500 gold lead, and that seems to all be on the Corki and the Lulu, or the Rek'Sai. Corki has 20 farm over his lane opponent in Lucian. And, well, to be honest, I have no idea where the other 100 or so gold might be coming from, because I know 600 is from the first blood, but, oh, well, now it's getting bigger. It's like 25 farm. So, yeah, that's understandable at this point. 1,500 gold, and most of it is on, well, the carries, the people that need the gold. This is going to look very good for BJK coming up into this mid-game. Level 6s are just about to be had. Jerome. Gonna try to farm out under this turret. Turret is down to half health, and Jerome taking a decent amount of damage from that poke. The binding doing its job right there. Looks like Cassiopeia is gonna hit that level 6 right here, but energy a level up. Level 7 Lulu. That is not something you want to lane against. Glitterlance maybe not the most reliable skill shot, but it is still pretty scary. I mean, look at that damage. 300 to, actually, I think it was more around 400 to about 200. So, you know, those Glitterlance is doing a lot of damage at this stage of the game. Almost hitting level 9. Has the book, has 2 Doran's rings. It's going to deal a lot of poke. Eventually, due to the nature of Lulu's build, the poke will fall off a little bit, but, you know, it's still something. The wave clear, though, that's what really counts. You know, with that first blood, also, oh, it looks like a top lane turret is going down. That's unrelated to the first blood, though. With that first blood, Lulu is able to take a pretty good gold lead, also through the minion farm. Gonna be building up towards Morello's. Terrapist gonna tell Rek'Sai to back off of this dragon. You thought he was being sneaky coming in over the wall, but there was a ward there. Got spotted out, and dragon still gonna be on the table. Though that is not something I would expect Atlas to go for, considering how behind they are. I mean, Corki is up 30 farm. Rek'Sai has a kill. Maokai is up almost 30 farm. This is just not looking good through the laning phase for this Atlas team. Not even a lot of damage coming out of Cassiopeia, but a lot coming back onto her. This is going to be a real struggle for Atlas coming up in the mid game, and, well, to be fair, BJK is running a more early game comp. Jerome almost going down to the Krugs. Livson nearly dies mid lane to that Lulu. It looks like he used his ultimate and Lulu didn't even have to, but the Ignite is down. So for this upcoming dragon fight, that, well, I don't expect Ignite to be of so much importance. But, you know, not having the Cassiopeia ult, that is a very scary idea. And surely, if Rek'Sai were to start this dragon now, they wouldn't try to go for it. Rek'Sai did try to set up something in bot, but just went back. Gonna ult back towards blue buff too, so Lulu is gonna have blue. Doge. Or maybe, I hope it's just a misspelling of Dumbledore. Doge. Yeah, the game is slowing down, and it looks like actually Atlas is going to be the ones to go for this dragon. There isn't really a way to spot out that the Rek'Sai was in that top side, but with their intuition and ward control, they go for this first dragon, and that'll definitely be great for them coming up in this mid game. They are about 3,000 gold down, so they have to try to take anything they can. And, well, a 6% damage buff, that doesn't exactly mitigate a 3,000 gold deficit, but it helps a lot. Rek'Sai coming in for the gank in top lane, the easy flash away, and that is a flash for possibly this turret. Minions going to be here to tank it up, and top inner is going to be going down right now. That is just increasing the gold lead for BJK, and it looks like they're going to start running away with this. They have a very, I mean, their comp is pretty much good at all stages of the game. So, right now, with Atlas's mid to late game team comp, it doesn't look like they're even going to reach that point. It's going to be very hard for them to even try to climb back into this game. And the way they have to do that is, well, more or less taking it slowly and just trying to do their best to farm. I would not suggest that, Zach should start giving up jungle camps, but it's really hard to say. Start freezing lanes probably so BJK can't push. They have to ward up their own jungle, obviously. You don't want wards to run rampant in your own jungle. Atlas has a real uphill battle here, and from what we saw last week, they are not used to being on the back foot. Right here, the little scuffle over the scuttle crab results in pretty much nothing. Except for a turret taken mid. Lulu helping the team get ahead that much more. And, well, there's only down to go from here. I mean, you have one outer turret left, and with the strength this BJK team has, there's no way that turret is going to be defended. Jerome trying to split push top, but Thaldrin already here, and that can't even be pushed in now because Maokai just going to use his ultimate to clear it out. It's going to be really hard for Atlas to even split push down, because even though Vlad is stronger than Maokai in the laning phase, they never met once in the laning phase, so now that it's basically the mid game, Vlad is going to struggle so heavily against this Maokai. I mean, Maokai at this point has the Rod of Ages. He's going to start stacking. He's going to be able to tank whatever damage is dealt. He's going to be able to sustain just as much as this gun. That's only the Hextech gun item. I forget the name of it. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at this. But that's just one spell vamp item against a Rod of Ages. And, a little bit of spell pen. He just went back, bought the boots straight out. So that is going to help him in damage trades. But with what Maokai is working with, he's going to be able to do a lot better. Dolce actually going to go in onto Theocles. Dolce nearly taken down, has to take the lantern out of there. Terrapist not going to hit the hook, and blue buff is probably going to get stolen here. The flash forward from Livsin doesn't do anything except slow down the Corki. And it looks like Lucian doesn't get poked down just yet. He's going to go down now. Dolce going back into the fight. He's going to turn into Bloblets. Here comes the Ikideki from Energy. And, well, that's just a straight ace. Huge fight for BJK right there. And Atlas basically being told you have no strength here. They're going to lose another turret. And, well, if this was solo queue, I would call for a 20-minute surrender. This is just awful for Atlas right now. They're down 10k gold at the 15-minute mark. And there's just no... I really don't think there is a way back into this game. I mean, we could start counting farm against each other, but at this point, like, the 10k gold comes from the towers, basically. Comes from the towers, it comes from all of those kills. I mean, the ace was beautiful. Just looking at this again, here comes the teleport from Jerome. He can't really do anything from back there because he's all alone. And Dolce taken super low. Lulu, this fight is basically split with all of Atlas in the middle, and that is exactly what they do not want. They want to be the 5v5. They want to basically go all in. And if they're split up like that, they have to decide which way to go. They didn't make a decision fast enough. And because most of Zach's initiation was already down, I mean, Livsian flashed forward to try to get the Cassiopeia ult on a Corki and Morgana that had their back turned to her. So there was no way the Cass ult was going to be good for anything in that fight. There was no way Zach was going to be good for anything because he already used his slingshot initiation and practically only hit the tank. It wasn't a very good initiation from Atlas, even if they were trying to save blue buff. That fight, I mean, even if they only lost one, would not have been worth it in the slightest. That was a very sloppy call from Atlas, and I think right now they're just scared because they know how far of a hole they're in. Of course, in that situation, I would have said, hey, let's fight for blue buff. But I'm gold. I am not on the pro level like these guys are. And that most certainly was not a pro level engage. For game 2, though, they need to basically sit down and say, let's completely forget about that first game. First game didn't happen. Let's go for something peel, something counter engage, maybe something poke. Because clearly in the 5v5, BJK has the better strategy. It's all about superior execution, and well, it certainly doesn't look like Atlas has that superior execution. Jerome split pushing top, can't even take the turret. He's going to try, though, to get the first turret for the game for Atlas. But there goes Rek'Sai. Going to save the turret. 10k gold lead still in favor. Jerome just going to get pushed out there. Theocles has the damage, so he might be able to actually go in on Jerome. Jerome going to get smited down. Here comes Maokai. The flash away. No knock up. And, well, another flash burn for Jerome. This is just looking awful for Atlas. They can't even split push right now. But Lulu is going to get caught out, and I want to see how that happened. I assume, I'm just looking at the cooldowns, flash wasn't up for anyone involved in that fight, except for Lulu, who didn't use it. So it was probably just an engage out of the bush. It's going to net them. Not a tower just yet. There it is. But here comes the flank. It's going to be a 4v4 right here. And, oh, the tank going, not the tank, Cassiopeia going down. Dolce going to be the next victim. And where is Jerome? Jerome is in top lane. Theocles is going to go for that knock-up, the flash knock-up to be specific. And that is a triple kill for the Corki. I mean, this is... It's hard to get enthusiastic about a blowout. I'm just thinking back to D-Man's video, how to be a shoutcaster, and one of his tips is like, don't try to make false hype. Don't be like, oh, is the comeback possible? When it's clearly such a huge lead that the comeback is practically impossible. And, well, along that same reasoning, it is really hard to get enthusiastic about these fights because... I mean, even before they start, you know BJK is just going to win them. Every single one of their lanes won. Every single fight has gone their way. They have gotten almost every single turret on the map. They are poised to take every single turret on the map. And, well, despite not getting both dragons, what does that even matter? When you have all of their turrets, when you have... taken all of their lives multiple times. Energy getting caught out here once again. The hook not going to go down, and he's going to be able to escape pretty cleanly. The wave clear coming out of Atlas, not super powerful. So the siege, well, the siege potential from Corki in general is pretty low. There isn't much wave clear. Actually, no, that's a lie. There is a decent amount of wave clear coming from the Lulu, coming from the Corki when comboed together. The siege game is going to be a struggle, and BJK, the way to break into this base is to lure Atlas outside of the base. Whether it be a Baron bait, whether it be, you know, picking them. I mean, they can't go into the base. They don't have so much sustain. They're still only level 12, so they don't have so much tank either. What they have to do at this point is either bait the Baron and get it, or bait the Baron, ace Atlas, and then go win the game. I mean, we've seen these strategies before. It's worked. It's not that hard to bait a team into the Baron pit when they have no vision of it. Jerome venturing out a little far, and that Tormented Soil actually did a noticeable amount of damage. That kind of shows you how far behind Atlas is when the support can put down a little bit of damage on the top laner. Theocles counter jungling to his heart's desire. Livson might get a little caught out here. No, Theocles is going to get spotted out by a ward. He's not going to have the time to clear it out because he is almost surrounded. But, going to go back. Atlas is just going to try to farm up what they can. But, I mean, even the smallest amount is not going to help them enough. Jerome can't even push top lane. The rest of BJK moving towards the top side, and it looks like they're going to try to bait out a 4v4 fight. Jerome taking a lot of damage to Theocles. That is a really good fight for Theocles, and it looks like he's just going to try to keep him in the top lane. The teleport is up. He's trying to teleport away, and he will be able to get back to his base. Theocles is just going to push it out. This would be the time to start baiting Baron, because Jerome, he can't go anywhere without his team. He can't push solo, and right now, here is the bait. Dolce getting close. Here they go, catching out Dolce. He is getting blown up, and that is the Zac. That is the tank. That is the jungler, and that is the Baron. There's practically no chance of a steal. The least Atlas can do is maybe go for the dragon, and Jerome has to use almost all of his HP to just try to escape, but he will take the lantern out. He's at a quarter health, and the video itself is lagging, and it's really annoying. This has happened before. But, you know, clean Baron take from BJK. They couldn't capitalize on getting a kill on Jerome, but, you know, Baron is worth it. I mean, they didn't lose anything. They got Baron. And they can still actually go get their second dragon, which will give them tower damage if I remember correctly. Or was it minion pushing? It's one of those two. Me and my friend were talking, well, it was mostly him explaining it, that the first dragon is something you really want. And you basically take the rest of the dragons just so the other team doesn't. Like, it's less of a, oh, let's go get dragon, and more of a, let's stop them from getting dragon by getting it ourselves. And it works. Like, it's a model that works, like, because when you think about it, like, 10% minion damage, 5% turret damage, that stuff doesn't really do much. I mean, if you're a late game carry, you're going to be clearing minion waves like they're paper anyway. But here comes the flank from BJK. Gonna get the not the knock up onto Terrapits, but the knock up onto Livson. He's gonna have to flash away, take the lantern, and he might just escape this. Not gonna go into the base just yet. Theocles had the Lulu ult on him, and oh, it looks like the split push in the bot lane from Corki. They're gonna rotate down, take that turret. Dolce gonna get destroyed by this BJK side, and the inhibitor is gonna be next. Theocles, not super tanky. And Lucian is going to get hit by the binding. They're going to go in on him, destroy him. And it looks like Energy just about to go down to the poison. Livson getting dove underneath his Nexus turrets. And the video is stalling. I don't know what to say about this. It's going to be more or less the end of the fight, but not the end of this turret, this base take. And never mind, I lied. Nardius able to take down Cassiopeia, but the revenge kill from beyond the grave is also going to happen. This is just a product of bad internet. That's not something I can control. And that's in reference to this FPS drop. This is the video itself. Anyway, getting back to the game and not my technical issues. Bottom inhibitor taken. Baron still on this BJK side, but only for a little longer. Dumbledore and Thaldrin gonna try to catch out Jerome. He's gonna get stunned up in his pool. Gonna try to turn it onto Dumbledore, but he doesn't have the damage. Jerome gonna take the easy kill. Oh, nope, never mind. It is going to get stolen away by Dumbledore. Dumbledore. Don't you just hate it when you try to say 2 words at once? Anyway, the next victim is most likely going to be either mid or top. I mean, those are the only ones left. Why am I even saying most likely? Those are going to be next. And with this 14k gold lead at 27 minutes, I can only think, what can Atlas do to get back in the series? For one, you can choose something kitey. I think it can be within their power to choose a team comp that can kite, that can peel, and can generally do well against, well, a comp like this that can go in 5v5. Of course, BJK also going to change up their strategy. And I'm definitely going to change up my internet provider if this doesn't stop lagging. Jeez. But Baron wears off. Therapist not landing any hooks to speak of, really. Dolce not even going to try to go in. And there's Theocles out on the side. Dumbledore doing his best to make sure the flank is warded up and that Jerome can't get in. Theocles baiting Dolce down, and it looks like they're going to go for the tower dive onto Therapist. Therapist is dead as a rock. And another kill coming in onto the Cassiopeia. They're diving into the base, and this is definitely the game over right here. Super minions in the base. This is going to be the final push right here. Cassiopeia and Thresher down. There goes Nexus turret 1. Soon to follow Nexus turret 2. Well, they have to get the minions there first, and having to kill 2 waves of minions to get 1 super minion there. That looks like a big ultimate coming out of Jerome, but here comes the counter engage onto Theocles. But at this point, Theocles is super tanky. There are the bloblets. There's the Nexus. And what is the number for Verizon Fios? Because I am totally done with this internet right now. Lifson does respawn, try to take out Nadius, but the Ikideki comes in, or Nardius rather. And well, they have to kind of run away from the base now because, well, actually not really. Thaldrin is still pretty tanky, pretty big. Theocles trying to keep. Well, never mind. The game is over. And game 1 in the books. BJK going in hard onto Atlas. And, well, to be frank, that was barely a contest. So, I'm going to take a short break. I will be right back with game 2 of BJK versus Atlas. Thank you for watching, and, well, I will be right back. Let me put on some music. We all like Adrian von Ziegler here, and I'm von Ziegler. We all like his music here, don't we? Well, you better, because he's the only music I'm going to play. Mostly because I don't want to accidentally, like, put on an Iron Maiden or, like, Judas Priest song, and then have them break through my windows. Oh, you used it. And I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about, YouTube? And they're like, you can't use copyright. And I'm like, fine, I guess I'll make a new YouTube channel. Anyway, Adrian von Ziegler, enjoy the music. I'm going to skip ahead because we've already heard that track before. Alright, sorry for that decently long break. I got a little hungry and made myself a snack. Alright, but we can get back into this game. Let me just write down the timestamp and we will be good to go. It is approximately 46 minutes. Awesome. Alright. Game 2 of the BJK Atlas. Let's get to casting this baby. And, of course... Oh, it's already set to HD. How perfect. Atlas versus BJK. Game 2. Game 1, we already saw how the Super 5v5 basically destroyed... Well, I guess more than destroyed Atlas. This time around, it looks like Atlas is going for a little more of a poke game that can translate well into the 5v5. They lock in the Jarvan, which is great for the engages. Meanwhile, they have Ezreal and Urgot, who both have fantastic just Q poke. They get a Q every 3 seconds. They both get Mer mana. That's a lot of damage coming out of them. A lot of armor going to be stacked by that Taric if they choose to lock it in. That wouldn't be a bad choice considering Jarvan, Ezreal, Urgot. I mean, that is a crap ton of AD, and the rest, the other choices they have are their top lane tank, unless it's top lane Jarvan, and their support. So, well, they're actually going to go for that. Gragas doesn't... I don't know if that's going to be top or jungle or mid or support. Much like with Lulu, I don't know if that's top or mid or support. And Rek'Sai, you can play Rek'Sai top, too. Oh, excuse me. That was a doozy. Anyway, so BJK have so many flex picks. Well, frankly, he looks confused in his picks right here. He doesn't really know what they're doing. He doesn't know how to respond. Nami, obviously going to be good for a peel comp. Can also help put down the damage, or rather the poke. And Skirmish coming out of that LeBlanc there. Though, would that make the top laner Urgot? Not sure. Looks like it's going to be the split pushing Jax. But this is... No, it's going to be a Morgana. And, well, I'm not sure that's going to be mid Morgana, top lane Urgot. I mean, anything is possible right now. Atlas has a decent amount of flex picks. BJK has a great amount of flex. Like, the only thing I'm 100% sure of is their ADC, and that's Lucian. Unless they know a brand new jungle Lucian build that nobody else knows about. It's going to be difficult. I have no idea even what they're going to pick for this last pick. So I'm just going to wait and... Okay, so it's going to be the mid lane. Counter picking into... Well, they probably don't know either yet. Could be a mid lane Jarvan for all we know. Honestly, what's most likely is the ADC Ezreal, Morgana top. Or Morgana mid. I honestly couldn't tell you. And Lissandra, also another extremely good, ambiguous pick. But it does look like the comp that's going to be the Bruiser Gragas, which is something I personally like. Top lane Morgana, which does pretty decent against the Gragas, considering first, ranged versus melee. And second, Spell Shield against Gragas. The mid laner is going to be a pretty interesting lane. They both have a huge amount of Q poke. Urgot's damage, though, is a lot higher, considering he's also AD, so he gets the auto attacks off. And, well, his passive lowers Lissandra's. And it looks like this guy right here is confused about everything that is happening. And to be honest, I am too. Like, Atlas had so many flex picks. BJK came into that last pick with everything being flex except for Lucian. So, definitely two very interesting team comps coming out. And I'm going to advance into the game so we can talk more about them. Now, Atlas, what they have going right here is a lot of skirmish, a crap ton of poke, and basically what they want to do is poke, 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 catch someone out, kill them. There's the catch. There's the poke. There's the poke. Not gonna net a kill. No, it's the bubble underneath the tower, but Energy is gonna body block, and Dumbledore is gonna get out safe. 0 summoners used. So all in all, nothing happened. It did allow BJK to get a deep ward by that blue buff, so they're going to know if Dolce starts blue or red. Terapist headed towards bot with that Nami. Nami, pretty decent at peel. Urgot, I mean, he wants to go in. He catches someone. That's actually a really good combo. They have Urgot catch someone, or the Morgana catch someone, and then it's just a huge bunch of chain CC. So if they are able to get picks and get a pick comp going, they will be pretty dominant. Otherwise, BJK, they have a lot of team fight CC. It's just like basically utter chaos. If you think, well, both ways, they have very strong 5v5s. Atlas having the stronger pick and the stronger poke. But BJK, I think overall they have the stronger lanes. Because Urgot early on, I mean, if you're decent at this game, you can practically dodge every single one of Urgot's Qs. But with Lissandra, oh wow, Ignite actually going down both ways. Lissandra going to miss her Q. Listen, not going to be able to convert the kill. 2 flashes coming out. Energy barely surviving. And just as I was going to say, Lissandra Q is more reliable to hit. He goes and misses one, basically causing him to lose that trade. A very good start from Livson right here, and Energy going super low. But Livson takes 2 tower shots. This is going to be pretty dangerous because Rek'Sai is right around the corner getting ready for the gank. They know the flashes are down. Here he comes. He's going to get the flash knockup. There he goes. First blood going over to Rek'Sai once again. And Livson just not doing so hot when it comes to receiving ganks. That is the second game in a row he has given up first blood. And well, now it's just going to be a huge uphill battle for him right here. Even the commentators thought it was funny. But, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. He got the gank first. Jarvan, not fast enough to be there. Urgot, super low mobility. I mean, he was considered a strong top laner for a decent while, but you know, the lack of mobility, it was just hard to get out of a gank. And right there, even in the short lane, it's hard to get out of a gank. Rek'Sai coming in from underneath the turret. Jerome gonna flash away, but Theocles taking a decent amount of damage back. He goes pretty low, but Jerome doesn't have any support. Where's the Jarvan? He's on the bottom side of the map. You could potentially set up a gank on that bot side, but it's going to be a bit of a struggle considering the move speed from Lulu and the dash away from Lucian. Terapist can possibly set something up, but Jarvan's just going to go back to farm. A jungler that farms all day is going to miss out on a lot of good opportunities to gank. And in my opinion, there might be one soon in this bot lane. They're going to spot him out with a ward though in that river. It looks like he is clearing it out right now. He most likely had a pink with him, and he did. Or no, he used his no, he doesn't even have the red trinket. How did that ward go out? Whatever. He picks up the Scuttle Crab though, and that's going to give a good amount of vision. You're going to know if Rek'Sai comes in through that river, unless he burrows over the wall. Energy getting taken pretty low, but Livson not going to be able to lock him down or do anything really. The gank coming in a little too slow from Jarvan, and well, especially considering the claw was already going out in the right direction. Easy escape from Energy. Theocles not spotted out, so this might be a gank in progress. Jarvan gonna come down as well, so there might be a 3v3 down here. Theocles waiting a pretty long time. He either needs to get in there now or don't go in at all. He goes in now. They start it up. And, well, nope, never mind. He's going to walk away. It looks like that tunnel did he even make it over the wall with that tunnel? Because the tunnel is there, but he didn't actually go through it. That's pretty odd. But it looks like Dolce getting close. There's the double knock up. And Dumbledore gonna go down right here. Nardus trying to put out the best fight he can, but he's gonna retreat to his turret and be fine. Gold lead even. Great gank from Dolce. Good job to get his team back in it. And with that, they're just gonna go back and be happy that they got a gank. Pretty slow. Not nearly as fast as their previous start. But Theocles looking to check that bush, see if anyone is still there. And of course the counter gank was like 5 years too late, just about. Livson putting down a decent amount of poke back on the energy. Those acid hunters do a crap ton of damage. I remember back in All for One mode, me and my friend went to Urgot. He did, no, I went E first, he went Q first, and we got first blood. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Urgot's Q damage is not something you can underestimate. Likewise, Lissandra, in general, is a champion you can't really underestimate. I mean, even if Livson gets the lockdown, she has that, well, never mind, she doesn't have the escape anymore because they're going in on him. Livson gonna get taken down right here possibly, and he will just after getting the swap. So he trades places just to die in the middle of the lane. Certainly looks nice, but not the best acceptance of an enemy gank. He had a way out. He had his flash. It looks like Terrapist going to be the next victim. He has to flash away, but Nardi is still going hard. Flashes forward for the kill. Now Siansen is trying to do what he can. Oh my god, the full duration of the culling right onto the back of the Ezreal's head. And it looks like Jerome going to be the next victim right here. Pushed back into the Gragas and the Rek'Sai. Going to try to escape, but there's nowhere to run. Jerome flashes forward onto and knocked up, killed everywhere on the map, just going horrible, horrible for Atlas. And meanwhile, Dolce farms. That's not a jab at junglers. I just think it's pretty funny how everyone across the map died and Dolce is just like, well, good thing I'm playing 1v9. Really though, one of the weaknesses right now is the fact that Dolce is not involved in any of these plays really. There was the one gank bottom, and that was it. Meanwhile, Rek'Sai has ganked every single lane twice, except for bot, that was only once. He's ganked mid twice, he's ganked top twice, this time to great success, and, well, Dolce had one gank bot, and that was it. This is coming down to the jungler, and the jungler for Atlas right now is failing his team. This is my semi-professional opinion. Rek'Sai looking to set up something in the bot lane. Making his way, well, down to the Gromp at least. There is a great possibility for a gank though. There is no ward in that river bush, so he could just pop himself in there. Get an easy gank. Sure. He might have been spotted out. No, not spotted out there. And snuck in successfully. There is the ward in the tri-brush though, so looks like they also have energy making his way down. Terrapist gonna get slowed up by the Glitter Lance. This is a delicate-ish situation. Nardius dashes forward. That might have given it away. Trying to set something up with Lulu, but Dumbledore's trying to bait it. He's purposely taking a lot of damage, but they're not falling for it. Atlas are not taking this bait, and Rek'Sai, after about a minute of waiting, finally gonna leave. Meanwhile, Jarvan makes his way into the lane, and it looks like Scuttlecrab gonna get picked up for BJK. They are in prime position to take that first dragon. The bot lane is winning. Well, they're winning. And with that, they can easily take this next dragon. Dumbledore's still taking a decent amount of poke, but I mean, you don't have to do that anymore. You're not baiting for Rek'Sai. You can calm down with taking those skill shots. I mean, there is skill behind dodging a skill, and then there's skill in getting hit by one. And I only say that because Nidalee spears are delicious. Yum yum. Really though, whenever there's a Nidalee in game, I get hit by 12 of the 20 spears. Energy, a very nice escape there from the gank in the mid lane. Dolce and Livson having to use their ultimates, and Energy just claws out of there. Flashes out of there. And now Theocles is in a lot of trouble. However, Livson doesn't have his ultimate. There's the move speed buff. Turned back around onto Dolce, dodging out the Q, and Livson, oh, he is in a terrible spot. Theocles doing what he can to that Jarvan. Gonna try to chase him down. And it looks like, well, Ezreal and Nami not gonna be able to do much of anything now that their super long range ultimates are down. Theocles still trying to bother Dolce and Terrapist. Theocles gonna burrow out. A really nice dodge and going right to another tunnel. He's gonna be safe. Great play. Getting another pick in the jungle. Dragon basically set up. He's just making sure it's still there. Bot lane getting pushed in pretty hard, and this mid Urgot pick trying to cheese. Not working out in the slightest. Morgana in the top lane, though, is doing pretty well, even in the farm. And that is something I would like to see in the next game. However, you know, despite being up in farm, Dolce has been extremely underwhelming this game. Sure, you're up 20 farm, but Rek'Sai is up 2 kills. Livson gonna be the target of another gank, gonna get knocked up, knocked back, not gonna get traded places with Energy, and, well, ultimate for ultimate. As we slow it back down, BJK definitely not going out to the same lead they had last time. Only at 3,000 gold-ish. Yeah, a little more than 3,000 gold. BJK going for this first dragon. Jarvan gonna try to get in there for the steal. He goes a bit too early. Gonna get smited away by the Rek'Sai, and Dolce getting bursted down immensely thanks to the Energy ultimate, and not even the Ignite was used. Both of the Ignites were up, and neither of them were used to try to secure that kill. Urgot looks like he's ready for something, but his ultimate is down, and, well, I mean, he's down 3 deaths, so wouldn't be the recommended move. Theocles going in behind the bottom lane, and gonna get knocked up by the bubble. Ezreal able to do a decent amount of damage. The main objective here should be the turret. Dumbledore getting pretty caught out right there. He's taking a lot of damage. Gets knocked up by the bubble. Goes really low. Has to use his ultimate to save himself. And that is a downed turret. So ultimate for turret in the end. BJK winning out on yet another trade. Getting all but 2 of those culling bullets down onto Terrapist. Nardi is doing work with that Lucian ultimate. It's been a fantastic game out of this bot lane so far. Meanwhile, in this mid lane, it looks like Lissandra split building 2 items. Gragas going in on Jerome, doing a decent amount of damage. Middle lane taken down to about half health. If you want to get precise, I would say at about 55%. But, you know, that's just me. Thaldrin getting, well, actually, it's Jerome getting a little too close to Thaldrin. Not going to get the full channel of the ultimate. Thaldrin looking like he wants to go back in. Has that auto attack buff again, and nothing going to come of it. Ultimate for ultimate. And, oh, in this bot lane, Lulu goes down. Gonna get hit by the bubble, but, oh, and top lane another gank. Double knock up. Getting the kill onto Morgana. And in the mid lane, more action going down. Urgot not going to survive, though. Energy just taking it to the town. He's 1v1ing extremely effectively. And, you know, Dolce going bot to get another assist. But your mid laner died. Your top laner died. And here's the replay. Dumbledore, the Flash, Jarvan ultimate. The Nami ultimate and the Ezreal ultimate. Oh, the kill went on to Nami. You don't even have that many kills on your team, but the support takes it. That's something that always frustrated me. Is when, like, I know supports don't mean it, but when they take kills, it's just like, that could have been so much better on literally anybody else on the team. Like, unless everybody but the support is at 6 items, there's no reason to give the support a kill. And no, I'm not acting as if they gave that to him. I'm just saying, you know, kills on supports are pretty useless unless you're going for fantasy points. We're almost 18 minutes into the game. Dragon should be spawning within the next 3 minutes, as it was taken fairly recently. Clearing out wards in that mid lane. Livson might get jumped on here again. And, well, if my internet is just going to keep acting up like this, I'm going to have to go down to that 480p. And as much as I hate to, you know, it's for the good of the colony, as the general from Ants would say. Oh, shite. God damn it. I keep clicking off of the video and that brings up the bottom bar. Alright, what did I miss? They took mid tower. Great. Now BJK can start snowballing their gold lead even harder. I mean, they're up 6k gold. 3 towers to none. Dragon spawns in a minute and a half. Theocles is just doing what he wants in this jungle. This enemy jungle. Gotta specify. Thaldrin still farming pretty well in that top lane. The only lane that's even relatively is that top lane, I mean. But, you know, 2 kills to none. That's gonna tip the scales a little bit. Johnson taken pretty low by Theocles. And, oh, the snipe with the Q. That is going to be a solo kill from Rek'Sai. How far behind do you have to be to get soloed by... Oh, okay, never mind. He's building AD. And I guess when you're that far ahead, you can build AD. Wave clear coming out of the AP Morgana is really strong. So, you know, a siege game going to be relatively weak considering the amount of counter siege. But the split push coming out of that Rek'Sai, that turret might go down. And then Rek'Sai, oh, and Jerome getting jumped on, completely bursted down. Had no idea energy was in the bush. And that is another turret that's going to go down in favor of BJK as they poise themselves to basically take the game 2 win. Dumbledore gets hit by that bubble, but nothing really comes of it. Blue buff is gone, so there's nothing to steal. Hell, even the wolves are gone. And the only tower remaining outside of the base is that middle inner. However, Dragon is spawned, so Theocles obviously going to go get that for his team. I think the Rek'Sai's kit is really cool, but because I haven't played her, I just don't understand. Like, most of Rek'Sai's kit is just damage, so it's really good for obviously clearing camps, trading, taking whatever you want. And I understand the vision from the whatchamacallit, the tremor sense is really awesome, especially for a jungler. But I just think that Rek'Sai might possibly be a stronger top laner. Like, yeah, you don't get the same like tunnel system you get when you're a jungler, but I mean, if you just have the tunnel system to mid, it's an easy roam, easy gank, easy life, and then you just go back to top without having to burn your ultimate / teleport. I am not sure who recently actually did this, but you know, BKJ Energy just going really hard onto that Urgot, and he wanted that kill like no other. So Urgot going to be sitting at 0-5. This is just not his day, is it? 10k gold lead at 20 minutes now, and well, BJK, I mean, at this point, all you can do is demoralize your opponent. Just make them feel like they don't even want to play this third game. And if I were Atlas, I would probably be in that boat right now. Like, you just lost your first game pretty big. Now you're losing your second game pretty big. And there goes the middle inner turret. So, there really is a backup plan for Atlas right here. And, well, whatever it is, they need to pull it out in Game 3. Or they're going to be toast for this series. They are going to be able to catch the Lissandra. And that does translate into 1 kill. Might there be another? Here comes the teleport, though. Dolce going in on that ultimate, but he's going to get turned into a little kitty cat. Thaldrun on the backline takes a huge amount of damage. That's a huge shutdown. But there goes Lucian trying to go hard on the backside. It's too bad, though, because Ezreal gets the kill. And a super sloppy fight coming out of BJK. They just overextended. I'm sure they're sitting on a lot of money, too. So, you know, underpowered, overextended. And after Lissandra got caught, they should have just said, you know what, let's get out of here. They didn't, though. They thought they could have had the re-engage. And they almost did. But in the end, it was a lost team fight. Now, what that can say is the comeback potential is very real. There have been odder comebacks. There have been weirder games. But after what happened last game, BJK basically making the same thing happen, it just doesn't seem feasible that Atlas is going to win this game. I mean, I don't want to count them out for the third game, too. But it really looks like that's going to happen. I mean, Game 1, they got blown out of the water immediately. Game 2, it took about 17 minutes. And then they got blown out of the water. And if they want to stay in this series, Dolce has to step it up. Livson has to step it up. I mean, he doesn't even have his Mura mana yet. Dolce, extremely ineffective with Jarvan, an early game ganking champion. And he didn't even gank early game more than twice. It was just picking the right champion, but using him very incorrectly. Just super sloppy play coming out of Atlas in these past 2 games. And after their 3-0 last week, I expected a lot more from them. It is somewhat disappointing to see them struggle so hard. And they even missed the pick right there, which I know you can't fault them for. But at the same time, that is still something that should not happen. If you are this far in the hole, you need to get that foothold to try to climb back out. And if you can't even do that, then it's practically hopeless. Baron is being done by 3 members. Lucian actually took a lot of damage. They don't really have the tank on it. Well, they don't really have a tank to speak of. Gragas is tanky, but he isn't the tank. They don't even need Rek'Sai to take this Baron. Rek'Sai will just continue pushing bot lane. Now with super minions. Oh, little late to the party. Sorry, Jarvan. knocked up, smited down, and he's taking a lot of damage from these minions as well. Oh my god, that Q bite damage just doing so much to Urgot. And so much for that tanky mid laner. Urgot, famous in NA for being the tanky mid laner that Zed can't do anything against. But right now, Rek'Sai tore through him like a piece of wet paper. Down in this bot lane though, Jerome is trying to duel his best, but it's not going to happen. Theocles is just going to take the tunnels out of there. Escape very cleanly, takes the inhibitor turret. Inhibitor wide open for the taking now, and, well, now mid inhibitor is in danger of going down. A fairly easy take by BJK. The dragon is going to go down too. This is going to be the third dragon at the 28-minute mark. This has just been a very easy game for BJK so far, and I mean, this series is just completely going in their favor. They're going to be 2-0 after this game. I'm speaking as if, you know, BJK is going to win, and they are. I mean, just look at the score, look at the money. There hasn't been a comeback bigger than this since Gambit versus CLG EU, and even Thaldrin taking down. Oh my god, I couldn't even form my thoughts fast enough before Urgot was killed. Urgot clearly not the right pick in this comp. Or maybe it's the mid laner. I don't know. I'm not one to judge on the player's ability. But the Baron buff is still on. 2 inhibitors down. The push is still here. The flash engage and a huge kill coming out from the Lissandra ultimate. And Nami Gragas ultimate back into the team. Iki Daki. GG. Game 2 going over to BJK. And there's nothing more but dive the fountain! Dive the fountain! And they did it. They dove the fountain. Good game. At least Terrapist and Jerome are kind of in good spirits. BJK just looking so hot after that game too. And, well, it's definitely going to be a struggle to try to climb back in Game 3. But Atlas will try nonetheless. I don't doubt that they will put up a good fight. But if these past 2 games were an indicator of anything, it's that they need to do something about getting their jungler to gank earlier. Now, here will be another short break. Music by Adrian von Ziegler, if you wish to know. And I will be right back. Alright, sorry about that long break, but you know, I've been a little burned out recently. I had to lay down for, 10 minutes. That's not too long. And well, as we set up here, let's get the next game underway. Casting. Perfect. Let's go into that 720p. And skip ahead a little bit so you can see what they pick and ban. And well, Rumble, Lulu, Hecarim, Sivir, Maokai, Thresh all taken off the table. That means Theocles gets the Sejuani, and Jerome is able to steal away the Gragas. Nocturne actually coming in. But then they have Jinx, who will have virtually no peel aside from the Nami ultimate. So, dude, this is a really, really awkward situation that Atlas has been put in by locking in that Jinx. Because, yeah, they have a late game hyper carry, but the entirety of BJK is going to be very tanky, except for the Janna. But Janna hits the R button, disengage. So they have a lot of disengage, they have a lot of engage, and, well, basically BJK are going to perfect the 5v5 team fight in this comp. Meanwhile, Atlas kind of just going for something disjointed here. Like, the Gragas and the Nocturne, pretty good at team fights. But with the Jinx, unless Gragas uses his ult purely for peel, and Nami only peels for the Jinx, then Jinx is going to die in every single one of these fights. They have Diana and they have Aurelia, not to mention Sejuani. So, those are three people that are going to point, click, be on the ADC. This is going to be a real struggle for Atlas if they want the carry, like the hyper carry to happen. And even Katarina, that's not the best decision. There are so many interrupts for Katarina, and I mean, Diana has one on a 12-second cooldown, Sejuani has one on a 10-second cooldown. There are just so many possible interrupts for this Katarina. There's practically no peel for this Jinx. Like, 2 abilities out of the 25 that are on this team, and only 2 of them can be used for peel. So, I mean, the bubble, that's a 50-50 hit or miss, you know. That's going to be a tough call right there. But I just don't like Atlas's comp at all. I think their choices for top, jungle, and support, they work. I like them. They have a little bit of synergy. But then their carries, the low mobility ADC, the Katarina that... Katarina's job is basically to clean up team fights, but if there isn't really damage being done, there's nothing to clean up. I mean, unless it's going to be a full AD Nocturne, which struggles because you can get one shot. Gragas, I mean, that's good for the separation of the team, but 4 members of BJK have dashes. 2 of them are point and click dashes. So, really, the Gragas ultimate not going to do much as far as displacement goes. It's just an awkward team comp they've thrown together, and it's going to be... I just don't like it at all. This is not a very good pick ban for Atlas to begin with. And it looks like BJK just perfectly drafted against it. I mean, they picked Katarina to counterpick the Diana, but in my mind, Diana counters the crap out of Katarina. I mean, 2 high damage assassins, but one of them has an interrupt. And that is enough to make Katarina practically useless. Unless Katarina somehow lands a Q onto the Janna, and then within 5 seconds gets the kill from another source. I don't know. It's just going to be really hard for this team, this Atlas team, to even get on the backline to begin with when they have so much peel I mean, they have the Sejuani ultimate. That can be an engage or a huge peel tool. They have the Janna ultimate and Tornado. Even more peel tools. They have, I mean, I'm sure it's not that effective, but they have the whatchamacallit, the E from Diana. So, I mean, that offers a little bit of appeal. It's like a mini Orianna ultimate in the sense that... Excuse me again. Anyway, it's like a mini Orianna ultimate in the sense that it has a tiny bit of knockback, but I'm gonna classify that as a small peel spell because it does pull people away if you position it correctly. Trade's bot lane already going in Lucian and Janna's favor, but the bubble hitting Dumbledore not gonna be very good for that Janna. Able to trade back with Therapist though. That little bit of sustain is gonna be the decider in these trades. Jerome already taking a low health against Aldrin, and well, I can only see BJK winning all of their lanes once again. It happened the past 2 games, highly possible in this third one. I mean, the mid lane is melee versus melee. Here comes a gank from Dolce. Gonna draw the flash out. Dolce taking a hit. Jerome taken pretty low. Listen. Actually able to succeed in a trade in the mid lane. That is the first time Atlas struck first in the mid lane this series so far. And good thing they did. Sejuani is one of those champions that, like, well, she doesn't need to hard farm to 6, but it's great if she does because that giant AoE ultimate slow stun combo thing is just fantastic. I don't even know what to call it. It's just a giant FU button. Or easy button, win the game button, whatever euphemism you might have for Sejuani's skill shot. It's not hard to miss. It's a 1.5 second stun. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Flashbacks to Xmithy missing his Sejuani ultimate against Liquid. A lot of damage coming down onto that Jinx. Gonna miss the bubble coming out of Therapist, and great dodge from Nardius. Oh, he missed a minion though. That's alright. Just 11 farm up. He can afford to miss 1. But anymore, and he's gonna get sent back to whatever land he came from. We can't tolerate that kind of terrible farming in our home. Another gank coming in top lane. Thaldrin gonna get feared up here, but he's not gonna burn anything. Dolce takes the stun, and we're fine. We're on our way home. Atlas trying to set something up early, but they just can't capitalize. The flash is down from Diana, so a return gank would be extremely beneficial. Both of the ignites are still up in mid. So, I mean, that is definitely something that should happen, the return gank. Meanwhile, Sejuani trying to farm as fast as possible, hit that level 6. Already went back, has the red smite, which is the additional true damage over time to your enemy. And that is pretty big dueling power. Gonna get that real strong early game gank, or rather mid game, now that we're approaching, you know, the 7-8 minute mark. It's no longer early game at this point. As soon as someone hits level 6, it's now the mid game. And Diana is the first one to do that, despite being forced out of the lane earlier by that gank. A pretty good start so far for both sides, but Atlas falling behind purely from farm alone, and once again, all of that money is going to be on Nardius just completely out-farming his lane. Theocles coming for the flank stake, getting behind. Oh! A very nice dash. Jerome dodging out the bear, and nothing doing. And someone is clicking. It isn't me. I can tell you that. But Dolce trying to counter jungle where he can. Theocles coming in through mid, seeing if he can do anything while Diana still doesn't have her flash. Not really much anything going on. It's been a pretty slow laning phase so far. But there's still that 600 gold lead. And that is probably the farm on Nardius and Aurelia. So much damage going down onto that Jinx. It's just starting to become impossible for her to trade. The worst part is being on that bad end of the trade, knowing like, oh, I can't do anything now. And like, it's a struggle to even try to farm. That's the worst part of it all, not being able to farm. And oh, the Sejuani ultimate gonna get flashed away from. Therapist gonna survive thanks to the summoner heal. And a very good attempt at a bot lane gank. I didn't even see Sejuani come down in there. That was really good of Therapist to flash out when he did. Otherwise, that would have been a very dead fish, and we would have been having sushi tonight. Meanwhile, in this mid lane, it's just been a farm fest, really. Energy forcing the Katarina away. I'm going to clear out that ward possibly, but no, here comes Nocturne. He's only level 5 though. Top lane going pretty close to Jerome. Definitely not going to try to dive that Thaldron. And a pretty close duel going down on that top lane as well. Probably not going to see the replay of it. And, oh my goodness, it's only 1k gold. Or rather, I should say, the 1k gold lead coming out only from farm. And that is most likely the 30 farm on bot lane and the 10 on top. The mid laners farming pretty close together. Katarina almost has the Abyssal Scepter, so she's going to have a decent amount of damage. Decent amount of magic resist shred. Back when DFG was still an item, my friend swore by it. He always said DFG is the best starting item on Katarina. Mainly because of the huge burst, and then because your damage over time does more damage. Oh, actually we have a fight in this bot lane. Ooh, the zap is going to hit a minion though. Trading back and forth. Lucian dashes forward, but here comes Katarina. The ultimate going to come down. He flashes in the right direction. Katarina going to get the ignite down. There's the first blood. Bubble not going to hit Janna. And oh, up in here in this top lane, Nocturne gets caught out. A 1-for-1 across the map. And red buff going over in favor of Sejuani. And they can't even do the dragon because their smite is dead. It would be very risky. But, overall, good play from both of these teams. Obviously, sloppy with Dolce. Well, not really. Oh, wow. Never mind. 2-for-1, and the red buff goes back over to Gragas. Theocles not having enough time to escape. And actually it's being turned around right here. This tower in bot lane is going to go down. And this might even up the gold score once again. And it does. It's a little too late though because Nardius already has his BF sword and his pickaxe. So it's going to be... Oh, here comes a gank in top lane. Jerome getting stunned up. Oh, gonna get knocked out of his dash. And, ooh, he's gonna go down over the wall from the turret shot and the Aurelia ultimate. Energy kind of wasting his flash right there. But, you know, just have to make sure. Gotta make sure he's dead. Looks like Dragon is being started up by Atlas here. Steal is very possible. But, oh, here it comes. Theocles trying to go in. Ultimate? No. It's still on cooldown. But the flash away over the wall from Dolce is going to lead to this dragon. Will it? No. Oh, it is not stolen away, actually. Dolce not getting close to that Lucian. The peel from John is too strong. And, oh, it looks like Diana going down on that back line. But Theocles and Nardius are stuck in the pit. They are going to... Well, one of them is going to go down at least. And a very back and forth fight. I couldn't really follow that. There was just way too much going on right there. But it's my job to get better at that. And oh, here comes Jerome once more to try to take this red buff away. He has a red buff of his own. But here comes Jana. Jerome still going for this Sejuani. That is a really ambitious Gragas right there. Getting the ultimate down. Can he get the dash now? Theocles not close enough. Not going to get hit by the zap. And, well, top lane turret is going to go down to Aurelia. Thaldrin gets the stun down onto Livson. And will anything more come of it? It looks like maybe. Nah. The chase is going to stop right there. Clearing out the minion wave all at once. One of the best feelings in the world. A lot of damage being put down, but ooh, Thaldrin going back in. About an even trade, but the ultimate from Katarina is now gone. I'm not sure if that was the right call to use his ultimate right there. Either way, top tower now down, and it looks like that is going to be a tank version of Nocturne. So he's not going to be going for the attack speed. He's not going to be going for Blade of the Ruined King or Yumu's. He's going to go full tank. And that's the best course of action, especially when you're 0-2. If you're behind, never, ever, ever build damage, because then that only puts you further behind. It becomes increasingly difficult to get ahead when you try to build damage. And it is a good call right here from Nocturne. Of course, it's going to make team fights a little more difficult for him because, yeah, he can get on the Lucian. But, oh, here comes a gank in the mid lane. Livson not having his ultimate just yet, but here comes the re-engage. The bear coming in, and Livson gonna go down right here. Jerome a little bit caught out right now, and he is gonna go down to the ultimate of Aurelia. Thaldrin with a nice kill. Turret in mid is going to go down, and it looks like they're going to try to bait something in over this wall. Nope, they're just going to wait for the minions, and they're going to push this mid lane. Knockup going to go down onto that Nami. And the wave, is that going to push them off? Not even the bubble will. The Nocturne looks threatening, but not going to do anything. 2 turrets going down, and BJK just regaining control of this game. I mean, it's not like they ever lost it, it's just early on it was pretty even. And now, well, there's nothing more to say. And here they all go. They're going in onto Thaldrin, and he's not going to go down just yet. Underneath his own turret, Dumbledore saves him. And oh my goodness, Nautilus underneath his own turret, gonna get killed. But the flash away, will Katarina go down? Yes, she will. Thaldrin trying to go back for the re-engage, and it looks like it's not going to happen. A good fight underneath the turret to trade 1-for-1 for this BJK side. A little bit sloppy from Atlas to give up that kill in the dive, but they're trying to get what they can, and I mean, they're being sloppy because of it. You can't try so hard to get a trade, because when you're behind, trading 1-for-1 is just as bad as losing the team fight. Because in the end, it gets, I mean, both of the teams stay in the same spot, and it just doesn't help anybody. Well, I mean, it helps the other team, obviously. Because when you trade, like, if you're down maybe 5,000 gold, and you trade 1-for-1, they are the more powerful team. It is now a 4v4, and they have the capacity to take something big. So that Katarina going really hard, not the right decision. Right now, though, looks like the next big objective is going to be the dragon. Bot lane is still standing for this A side, so that could possibly also be another target. I mean, it could go dragon, then turret, or turret, then dragon. Either way, they're both on the list. They're both right next to each other, and I would not be surprised if both of them were taken relatively soon. by BJK. Looks like they're just going to take their time. They have the timer of the dragon, so they know when it's going to be up. But, you know, just taking their blue buff, taking their time. They're going to walk down. It looks like they're going to start warding around it. Oh, nope, that is a therapist that's warding around it. They want to try to contest this dragon. They are 3k gold behind, so it would be an uphill battle. Also considering they have late game carries, and they're not that strong just yet. So this might be a better fight to completely avoid, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. They want this dragon, but the Scuttle Crab is going to go over to the BJK side. This is definitely not a good fight to take from Atlas, and they need to back off. They need to probably defend that bottom turret because they don't want to lose 2 objectives in one. And, well, this is just a tough call to make. Do they go in and fight? Do they just push them off the dragon? Do they defend the turret? And it looks like, well, Theocles is going to get spotted out there. Thinking about turning it, but no, he's just going to walk back towards the dragon. Thaldrin and Jerome in the top lane right now. Looks like Thaldrin might start the teleport. No, he's not going to do that. Dumbledore taken to half health. There goes the dragon. 2-0 in favor of BJK. The Nami ultimate going perfectly with that teleport to Thaldrin. Well, it looks like Dolce was in a little bit of trouble, but he flashes away. Kind of a waste of an ult. He just pads himself the wrong direction. He thought maybe, we might go back in, and then they didn't. And so, you know, just bad map movements overall from this team. It looks like fighting the bot lane might happen though, but Thaldrin taking down Therapist. Oh my god. 1v3, and he just kills him. Dolce trying to come in, protect someone, but there's nobody else left. There's no Nami to save. Nami still has Flash, still has Ignite. I mean, if you're not going to bring Exhaust, yeah, it's pretty much a death sentence against an Aurelia and a Diana, against any assassin, really. It's a free pass on the back line. And, well, another kind of misplay in their champ select, not bringing that exhaust. And, oh, here comes Sejuani on the side. The multi completely misses. Where did he even go? And it looks like Dolce going back in for the re-engage, gonna get the kill. Trying to go deeper, but he's gonna die himself. A 1-for-1 trade overall in that bot lane. Pretty good fight from Atlas to, you know, try to say, no, we're not giving up just yet. And Energy looking for Jerome. Nope, he's going to go over the wall. Therapist caught out a little bit. Has to use the flash now. And that's the internet for you. Right here, you know. I can show you. My computer isn't overheating. It's at 90 out of 100. It only starts going very poorly at 100. Alright, let's go forward a little bit. And it looks like there's just a problem with this video at that moment. So, I'm going to refresh the page. So, let's see. Screen. Going to see what refreshing the page does. And hopefully that fixes our problem. And it does. 1 second, let me just pause this. Bring it back to high quality. And casting. Oh, it doesn't want to be high quality at this point for some reason. Alright, let me go back to trying to solve this problem. Oh, no. Oh, no. Is that it? Is that it? Is this it? Alright. Can we get it going? Can we get it going? Possibly? Maybe? Come on, help me out here, Jesus. This is super frustrating. I am so sorry. 480p, let's try that. Alright. I'm gonna get this all sorted out. So... Oh, wait. Wait, we're back. We're back. But we're at 480p. Jesus. And it's frozen again. So... Alright, for real this time, I'm going to see if I can't solve this problem. So I will be right back. Alright, so it seems I can somewhat fix the problem. I just have to skip ahead in time. For some reason that small area was being a little bit of an asshole. And another problem, I have to be on 480p, which is another problem I don't understand. So we're going to skip ahead a minute and a half here. And it looks like nothing much has changed since then, except for the fact that Thaldrin going really hard on Dolce. Dolce going to get stunned up. Going to get killed right there, and there goes Jerome. Jerome going to get slowed up. Not going to get knocked up by the bubble. And Aurelia is going to take that second kill. Levcin almost gets dove right there. And this is just getting really scary right now for Atlas. Their playoff lives are basically done right now. And I apologize for those technical difficulties. Something completely unavoidable. I mean, when you get that spinning circle of death on YouTube, there's no one really to blame except YouTube. And it was weird because it only affected that small part of the video. But I digress. Top lane turret getting taken down. Inhibitor surely to be next. There goes the team fight, and they're just going really hard on this. Katarina going down, and we're back here. You know what, I'm just going to call it there. I'm going to say, obviously, BJK wins it. I know for a fact that they win it. Because, well, to be frank, I looked it up before the game. And by looking it up, I checked the link on LOL Event VODs, and it said, or rather, I checked Game 4 link first, and it went straight back to the LOL Event VOD page, so I knew it was going to be a 3-0 sweep. So, yeah, I'm sorry about those technical difficulties. There's nothing I can really do about it. This is YouTube side, whether it's their servers right now or whatever, because, I mean, my internet is plugged in, my computer not overheating. I mean, this is a brand new rig, 2 weeks old actually. I'm sorry, I just can't do anything about this, but thank you for watching the first 2.5 games. My name is Scott Scoot Belmont, also known as Frank Daddy on other social media such as Reddit, and I don't know where else I use as Frank Daddy, but it's probably out there somewhere. You might find old, whatchamacallit, like forum accounts on Yu-Gi-Oh! Cardmaker.net. Oh, look, there he was. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up for the fun of it. But anyway, thank you for watching. Leave some positive criticism. Leave some, well, constructive, really. Just tell me how I can be better. Please like, comment, subscribe. Don't dislike the video. Come on, that's just not nice. But thank you for supporting me so far. Down in the description, you can follow my Twitter, you can follow my Twitch, you can donate to me if you like what I'm doing that much. I need to pay the bills too. And like anyone else, I very much appreciate the views you are giving me. Thank you to my most recent subscribers. I went up from 2 to 7. And that's actually really ridiculous considering my only 2 subscribers were my friends. But once again, thank you for watching. It's been a real pleasure. I love doing this. It's just hard to because, you know, work in the morning and then friends want to hang out and it's like, all right, fine, give me a second. I want to do this. So I'm here for you right now. Yeah, I gave up watching TV to do this. Not much of a, I mean, I'd much rather do this. I can tell you that 30 times over. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back either this weekend or next week. I'll try to come back with the next semifinal match, HWA versus Dark Passage. That should be a real doozy because in the quarterfinal series, HWA, and I forget their opponent, but it doesn't matter because they lost. They went back and forth for the entire 5-game set. Go back and watch that, please do. All event VODs, and well, I'll see. I said thank you enough.